I know that sounds super weird because when I originally said it to Dante, he looked at me and he's like, you want to do what? Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. If you do, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below before you go. As you guys can tell from the title of this video, this is going to be a how I'm preparing to have 2 under 2, or things that I am going to be doing after the baby is born to hopefully make our lives easier and hopefully adjust really well into having 2 under 2. So I'm not gonna keep the intro long. Let's just get right into it. So I'm actually going to have this video split into 2 parts. So the first part is going to be things I'm doing for before the baby is born to help make things easier, and then things that I'm going to or plan on doing afterwards to hopefully make the transition easier for Jackson, for us, for the baby, and all of that fun stuff. So first thing we're gonna do is obviously the before the baby's born, like the things that I'm doing right now or the things that I plan on doing to make it easier. So the first thing is something we've actually already done. If you guys have seen this video, then you would know we got Jackson a toddler bed. We planned on getting Jackson a toddler bed when he turned around 2. We planned on doing it then because that's what we've heard most people have done. And honestly, he was just trying to like lean over the edge of the crib rail, so it wasn't safe anymore. So he needed a toddler bed, but we were planning on doing it around when he was 2. This baby will be here before he turns 2, which means we would not be able to give him our full focus and full attention if he had a hard time transitioning into the toddler bed. So we actually decided to do that before the baby got here instead of after, just because it makes more sense. We are able to give him our full attention, make it as comfortable as possible without having other obligations in the middle of it. We were really lucky. He transitioned really well. If you watch those videos, you would know that he slept through the night and like he didn't have any issues with it. So that was something that we did already. Something that kind of goes hand in hand with that is getting a routine for Jackson. His routine is all over the place, and that is because he was just sick. So his nap time's all over the place because when he was sick we let him nap whenever he wanted to because sleep is best and whatever. So we would just get up early with him in the morning if he woke up or like whatever. So we let him nap whenever he wanted to. So now it's getting him back into a proper routine, which I think is going to really help us out when baby boy gets here and does not have a routine. So that's something that we're working on right now. Next thing I think that's going to be incredibly helpful is independent play. Now Jackson already kind of does do independent play. He's really good at it. He's really independent. Like if you go to play with him, he like throws like your hand. Like he'll make sure like you move your hand if he doesn't want to play with you. So he's already really good at independent play, and he's already really good at like wanting to play by himself. However, I don't want him to feel like he has to play by himself, but I want him to be comfortable with it. So I'm trying to encourage it just a little bit more because since he's been sick, he's been super clingy to me. And obviously with a newborn, I won't be able to be as like as available as I am now, if that makes sense. So I want him to be more comfortable with the idea of independent play because recently he's kind of gotten out of that. And I also think independent play is important for their development. And one of the last and I think most important things is going to be meal prepping. So with Jackson, a lot of people told us to meal prep because we weren't gonna have time with a newborn to cook and we eat a lot of takeout or whatever else. We were very fortunate in the fact that Dante was off because of COVID. So he was home for the majority of Jackson's like first 6 months. Yes, COVID messed us up and all of that other kind of stuff, but we were fortunate to the point where he was home. So it actually made it a little easier to cook. Dante actually used to feed me dinner because I'd be like nursing and then I'd have Jackson like this and he would be like putting the food in my mouth for me so that I was able to eat. So he did a lot of the cooking, he did a lot of that. But this time around we have a toddler, but we also have Dante possibly working part-time. We're planning on him taking parental leave. We live in Canada. for those of you who don't know, we plan on taking parental leave because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I didn't make the hours to get maternity leave. So I'm hoping that he can take that. However, he wants to keep his work benefits, which means he'll have to work like part-time. So with him still having to work and having a toddler, I think meal prepping is going to be what's easiest like for us. So that is like the last thing we want to do before he gets here. Okay, now the things, these are all the things that I think we should try to do after the baby's here. And I do say try to do because, let's be honest, nothing ever goes the way you plan it to. So I'm trying to be as prepared as possible, but also not disappointed if it doesn't work out, if that makes sense. So the first one, I know that sounds super weird because when I originally said it to Dante, he looked at me and he's like, you want to do what? But I'm going to tell the baby to wait. And I know that you guys are all sitting there going, it's a newborn, it's a baby, the baby can't wait, like you can't just do that, like they don't understand you. And you're right, you are absolutely right. Jackson does though. So like if I'm constantly telling Jackson to wait, I'm constantly telling him, oh, like the baby needs me right now and you know, you have to hold on. He's gonna resent that baby and he's gonna be upset about the baby getting all of my attention. And I don't want him to feel that way. I want him to feel like he's still included. I want him to feel like he's not being pushed aside because we have bigger priorities than him. So, and I mean like not for long periods of time, obviously. Like I wouldn't go play with Jackson while the baby's screaming and whatever else. We would figure out something else to do. Like I wouldn't tell the baby to wait for that. But if like Jackson wanted a snack or if he wanted a hug or if he wanted something else while the baby's crying, I'm not just gonna immediately put him to the side and be like, whatever. But because I'm telling Jackson to wait, I'm going to tell the baby to wait while I do those things as well because Jackson will understand. So I hope that made sense. I know it's like a weird concept, but I remember seeing it on TikTok. I don't know. I can't remember if it was TikTok. I can't remember where I saw it, but I went, that is a smart idea. I'm doing that. And I wasn't even pregnant yet. Along with not wanting Jackson to feel left out, I also want to try including him in things. So I've seen a lot of people saying like, if you change the baby's diaper, ask your toddler to bring you a diaper, ask your toddler to bring you wipes, because it helps them feel like they're involved and it helps them feel connected. So that is something else I want to try and do. I'm not sure if Jackson's gonna do that, which is fine. But I think he'll just get the diapers and play with them, which is like fine, I guess. But I don't know if he's gonna bring them to me, but it is something I'm going to try just to help him feel more included. Along with like when we do like tummy time with the baby, like, oh, do you want to do it too? Like, do you want to like play with us and like that kind of stuff? So hopefully that makes it easier and makes him not resent his brother. One big thing that I didn't do with Jackson that I do plan on doing this time around is baby wearing. So I didn't start baby wearing with Jackson until he was like 9 months old. And it was like one of those like carrier things or whatever. This time around I have one of those wraps. And I think that is going to be my holy grail when Dante is at work, because the baby, the newborn, gets comforted on my chest, and Jackson, I can still play with him while the baby's on my chest. I'm hopeful that that'll work. I think it will, but honestly you just never know until the baby's actually here with the afterwards things. So that is something I'm hoping on, planning on, really hope it works, because I think it'll be the easiest way to play with Jackson, give him the attention he needs, but still be meeting the baby's needs. So I think that'll work. I've also seen people say if you put them in the right position, you can still breastfeed in there, which will make my life so much easier if I don't have to sit down solely to feed the baby. So as I mentioned before in this video, I am a stay-at-home mom. Dante works a lot, which means a lot of the time it is just me and Jackson. And I think that he's gonna get very, very jealous that I have to now share my time with another baby. So something that I'm hoping to do once the baby is here is spend one-on-one time with Jackson, at least 1 day a week, just me and Jackson doing something, even if it's just playing in his room. Dante will have the baby, me and Jackson will just do whatever, whether we go to the park, whether I take him to do groceries, like whatever, one-on-one time where we can be just us. I think that'd be good for my mental health. I think it'd be good for him to not feel like he's being replaced. So I think that's going to be a really big deal. Same with Dante and Jackson. Like, they're going to have one-on-one time too, as well as like me and the baby having one-on-one time, and Dante and the baby having one-on-one time. And that's something I plan on continuing on in the future as well. I think it's really important to establish relationships with each child instead of just always doing things as a family. Like, yes, I always want to do things as a family, but like, I think one-on-one time is just as important with each child as family time is. And I plan on starting that when the baby's born. Something I never really did with Jackson was ask for help. I just felt like I was the mom. I had to do everything myself. And don't get me wrong, Dante was a really good help. He was really good at stepping in. He did a lot of the midnight diapers, and then he would like pass me to feed him and whatever else. But if I got mentally overwhelmed, like, I didn't say anything. I just like kept going because like society made me feel like you have to. Society made me feel like as a mom, that is your sole purpose, your only job, that is the only thing you can do. You're the one who has to do it. No one else is better for your baby than you. And I think that that made me not happy. It made me go to like a really weird place where like I no longer felt like I could ask anyone for help for anything, even when it came to something that wasn't baby related. And I really don't want to do that again. I don't want to struggle with that again. So I think asking for help is going to be a big one. This one's already kind of something that we do. Split chores and tasks. So things we do with Nuggie, things that we're gonna have to do with this baby, obviously the chores. We're honestly really good at already doing this already. We do split a lot of the chores. I mean, I kind of pick up more of them because I'm a stay-at-home mom. But if Dante's off, then he's equally as responsible for the house and the chores as I am. And the only reason why I say I'm a stay-at-home mom, I do more chores, is because I have more time to be home to do them, and he's working 60-hour weeks. So like, while he still does the dishes and the cat litter, because obviously I can't right now, but he still does them, a lot of the dishes. If he notices that there's some in the sink, he'll do the dishes, and then I try to do them every night, but it like doesn't always happen because I've been so sick. But yeah, no, he's really helpful for that kind of stuff, so I'm hoping that we can continue to do that. The last thing, I think is going to be the most important thing that we do to transition into having 2 under 2 will be that, because I'm breastfeeding, providing I can still make milk this time around, I'm breastfeeding, I will be the one getting up in the middle of the night with the baby, where Dante used to get up in the middle of the night with Jackson. He used to change his diaper, and then he used to give him to me like every single time. Like, the alarm would go off and Dante would already be up, or if Jackson cried, he'd hear him first and he'd already be up and he'd already be going to get him. This time around, I'm going to get up with the baby. Dante's gonna have to train himself to stay in bed most of the time. Like, I'm sure there's times that he'll still get up and help with the baby and whatever, but for the majority of the time, he is going to stay in bed. I'm going to get up in the middle of the night with the baby. He is going to get up with Jackson in the morning. He's going to get him breakfast, whatever else. I'm going to sleep in, and then when the baby wakes up after that, we will be up for the day. And on the days Dante does work, he typically closes. So it'll make it easier for me, because well, it'll be easier for both of us, but it'll be easier for both of us because he's already doing that now. Like, that's the schedule, and he'll be working less hours, and it'll be easier for me because it'll allow me to sleep a little bit more. But I think that's how it's gonna work better. And then during the day, we both just like do things with like each child. I just think it'll be easier because there's no point of him getting up in the middle of the night if I'm feeding the baby, so he can get up with Nuggie in the morning like he already does, and let me sleep in a little bit because I was up all night. So those are just the main points that I think are gonna help us a lot when we transition to having 2 under 2. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm so open to them. Please leave them in the comments, leave me some advice. Let me know what you guys did, if you guys had 2 under 2 or what you plan on doing. Nothing is set in stone, like I said before, because obviously we have to see how this baby is going to be. But that is how I'm feeling right now. These are the plans, this is the goal. These are the things that I'm hoping work. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow in my next video. Bye guys.